UFC Fight Night, Des Moines, Iowa. Cory Sandhagen versus Deiveson Figueiredo just ended. And this is going to be my full card post-fight. We are going to discuss every single fight on the card, including the co-main event, Bo Nickal versus Reinier de Ridder, which I cannot wait to talk about. But before that, we're going to discuss every fight on the card. Do me a favor, if you guys enjoy these post-fight videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and like the video. I would greatly appreciate it. Overall, to be honest, if you missed the card, it wasn't that great of a card, but the co-main event just absolutely saved the day and made it a great card. Let's jump right into it. First fight of the night, Juliana Miller versus Ivana Petrović. What a straight up heater this was. I mean, this was a barn burner from start to finish. Juliana Miller wins via unanimous decision. She showed off not only her elite level Alex Pereira striking, she was tagging her on the feet, butchering her on the feet. She also showed her grappling as well. There was striking in this fight. There was grappling in this fight. There was jiu-jitsu in this fight. There were some strikes thrown in this fight. And Juliana Miller came out on top. I totally did not skip this fight and make up this entire post-fight reaction for this specific fight. That's not what I'm doing here. Juliana Miller, did she get her first win in the UFC? I'm pretty sure. She gets her first win in the UFC. She beats Ivana Petrović. She starts my picks off 0-1. And, I mean, her striking is so damn good. It is so, and this was a straight up barn burner. Highly recommend, 10 out of 10, would recommend going back and rewatching this because I definitely didn't skip it and then refused to go back and rewatch it. So Juliana Miller gets it done. Next fight on the card, we have Thomas Petersen versus Don'Tale Mayes. Wish I didn't rewatch this fight. Petersen essentially took him down at will and beat the dog shit out of him. Wasn't really even that extreme. Don'Tale Mayes had nothing to, nothing. I mean, he got taken down basically right away. He would, I think in the first and second round, he scrambled back up maybe once, got taken right back down. He had nothing to offer off his back, and Thomas Petersen just beat him up with ground and pound. At this point, you know, I get so many comments on different videos from haters saying, man, brother, you never stepped in the cage, brother. You never stepped in the cage, brother. Who are you to talk about these fighters, brother? Which is a totally dumb argument to begin with. I'm about to join the UFC, call out Don'Tale Mayes, whoop his ass from start to finish like Thomas Petersen did. And then I'm going to retire, but I'm going out on top, boys. And then nobody can ever leave a comment like that again because Don'Tale Mayes is shit. Shit. Heavyweight is shit. Thomas Petersen's entire training regimen is going to the gym once a month. Okay? And he was taking Don'Tale Mayes down at will, beating him up. What's there to say about this NPC heavyweight fight? Good on Thomas Petersen getting it done. He did what he had to do. He put some ground and pound on Don'Tale Mayes, who refused to get up off his back. Looked like a fish on his back. Thomas Petersen gets it done. Next fight on the card. Speaking of somebody not being able to grapple, we have Gaston Bolaños versus Quang Lee. Quang Lee absolutely dominated him. Took him down early in the first round. And basically had his back for, I would say, 3.5, 4 minutes of the first round. The other 45 seconds, so the other minute left was probably 45 seconds where he was transitioning to the back. I think Bolaños got up once, maybe 3 minutes into the round or so, but got taken right back down, gave up his back again. Quang Lee was looking for the submission. Second round, Bolaños came out. He was clearly frustrated. He was throwing big shots. He was getting countered on the feet, getting tagged with like 2 or 3 big shots before he inevitably got taken down again and controlled again. And Quang Lee wasted no time this time. He latched up the rear naked choke and finished Gaston Bolaños in the second round. This was a fight where, I mean, there was clearly a skill differential. Bolaños, notorious for getting taken down, pissed. I wanted to pick Bolaños last fight. I didn't. He wins. I don't pick him this fight, or I do pick him this fight, even though I kind of wanted to pick Quang Lee. And, of course, now he gets dominated. He gets outstruck, outgrappled, out jiu-jitsu'd and submitted via rear naked choke in the second round. Not a whole lot to say about this matchup other than Bolaños. It's time for him to leave the UFC. It really is. UFC Des Moines, Iowa. Should be the last time Bolaños fights in the UFC. Quang gets it done. Looked really solid. Looked very well-rounded. I know Bolaños isn't the toughest test, but Quang did exactly what he needed to do to Gaston Bolaños to be somewhat impressive. Next fight on the card, we have Marina Rodriguez versus Jillian Robertson. Easy single leg from Robertson. Some decent ground and pound, half guard. Had some good elbows in the first round as well. There were some elbows to the thighs she was doing. She looked for Kimura in the first round. Easy, dominant first round for Robertson. It wasn't like a 10-8 because there wasn't any like crazy damage done. But she controlled her for the majority of the first round. Like, let me actually take a look if it has control time here. Not that I based it off this. Yeah, it doesn't even show. She had some serious control time. It was early in the round. Second round, single leg from Robertson. Marina Rodriguez, instead of trying to defend the takedown, since she can't, she just looked to latch up a ninja choke. She wasn't able to get it at all. And then Jillian Robertson goes from half guard to full mount, starts throwing some 12-6 elbows, which do a decent amount of damage. And then the rest of the fight is essentially Marina Rodriguez on a hip, halfway in full mount, halfway giving up her back. She gives up her back a couple times and just getting back shots dead. And eventually she finally just succumbs to donkey punches from behind. And I'm just screaming, back shots dead. Jillian Robertson TKOs her in the second round. Easy win for Jillian Robertson. I forgot who she called out afterwards. Amanda Lemos. It came into my head as soon as I said I forgot. I mean, that's a decent matchup. Marina Rodriguez retires afterwards. I mean, she's getting up there in age. She's kind of been shitty for a couple years now. She has no takedown defense. I flirted with the idea of picking her. I'm so glad that I didn't. I'm so glad because she had no takedown defense. You know, but I didn't know Jillian Robertson was kind of been scrubby for a while, but was scrubby for a while. Now she's starting to kind of get better. She's getting better every single fight. And she went out there. She was vicious with her ground and pound. She had an intent to finish this fight. And I actually, even though I think Rodriguez was on her way out for a while and actually don't think she's that good and hasn't been for a while, I still think Jillian Robertson, I almost called her Marina Robertson, but I still think Jillian Robertson put on a good performance. She gets it done via second round TKO with the illustrious back shots dead. Beautiful finish from Jillian Robertson. Next fight on the card, we have Ryan Loder versus Azamat Bekoev. Oh my goodness, this was brutal. This was a brutal beatdown. By the way, the USA chants ringing down. USA, USA, USA for Ryan Loder. Bekoev went out there and beat the dog shit out of him. I mean, finished him brutally in the first round. Early Loder looked for a takedown. Wasn't able to get it. Eventually got hit with a big right hand that he stumbled. I think he kind of dropped for a second, jumped right back up. Bekoev starts swarming him, throwing wildly, landing some, missing some. And then eventually kind of settles. And he clinches up a little bit. And I'm like, wait a second. Did he just gas him? Because he went crazy for like a minute straight. And I'm like, did he just gas himself out in the first round? All those muscles, all those shots he just threw, did he just gas out? And then clinches up for a little bit. And then there's a break. He lands another like right hand, clips him bad, and just smashes him bad with ground and pound for the finish. Bekoev ran through Loder. The crowd was not happy as they were screaming USA at the top of their lungs. And Bekoev looks like a vicious middleweight, surging, maybe top 15 guy. I'm not going to call him top 15 yet. Ryan Loder is a decent fighter. He's not bottom of the barrel by any means, but Azamat Bekoev looked good here, man. He showed good takedown defense. He showed good striking. He showed good power, and he showed some fight IQ in this fight because I really thought maybe he gassed himself, but what I think he realized is, like looking back on it now as I make this video, he realizes, okay, I can't keep swinging wildly like this or I'm going to gas out, so let me pick my shots better, and he did eventually find the finish, and it was a great finish. And Loder, I got to be honest, he took a lot of damage here. I mean, that was CT, because he was getting cracked with massive shots. And somehow he was showing a granite chin for a bit there until it wasn't anymore, until it got cracked. But he was getting cracked. His head was, oh my, it was brutal. He was eating brutal shots. Wasn't even really trying to defend. He was basically a punching bag. That initial onslaught, he was essentially a punching bag. And then eventually Bekoev settled down and then found the finish. First round KO for Azamat Bekoev. Next fight on the card, Yana Santos versus Miesha Tate. What is there to say about this fight? Yana Santos wins via unanimous decision. I believe it was all unanimous 29-28. Tate comes out, touches gloves immediately, and then throws a punch right afterwards, and then starts rushing forward, throwing shots. Having a little bit of early success, but she's so sloppy. She starts getting busted up and tagged. And when she does enter, she clinches. And then Yana Santos was exiting with good elbows and good knees to the body from Santos. And basically, Miesha was getting just touched up with combinations as she shoots in on ugly, horrible, ugly takedowns. First round, she got close on like one takedown, but wasn't able to get it. And also, Santos was chopping her legs with good leg kicks, which she did throughout the fight. Second round, more of the same. Tate just rushing forward. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. It's late. But just rushing forward like that, throwing crazy sloppy shots, looking for takedowns. Doesn't get anything. There was a couple big right hands that landed. I think it was for Santos. And also some more leg kicks for Santos in the second round. Just tagging Miesha Tate. Complete masterclass. Then the third round, Santos is slowing down a little bit. She's still winning, but then she gets taken down. Then Miesha Tate is in half guard, getting some control time, not doing a whole lot. Then she moves to full mount, starts throwing some shots. Santos gives up her back. Miesha takes like the body triangle where Miesha's back is on the mat and Santos is laying on top of her. And she's looking for a rear naked choke for the last maybe minute and a half, 2 minutes. And isn't able to get it. So I gave the third round to Miesha Tate. I gave the first 2 rounds to Yana Santos. I was a little bit worried maybe the judges were going to be trash and somehow mess this up. But the right winner, Yana Santos, gets it done. It's just crazy. And I don't know if anybody else feels this way. And I know they have to do it. So don't comment down below and say, Joey, they're just doing their jobs. The way the commentators try to gaslight us about every fight, it's getting old. It's an insult to our intelligence. They're just like, man, Miesha's still good. She's got one last title run. And I'm like, what? What? They're like, yeah, she's got one last title run in her. Like, if she beat Santos, they were going to try to, like, hype her up for, like, the winner of Harrison versus Pena. Ew. It's crazy. Tate's showing up for a check, okay? She's literal dog shit. Multiple points throughout this fight, she reminded me of CM Punk. Galloping sloppily towards Yana Santos, who isn't even that good, by the way. Yana Santos isn't like the elite of the elite by any means. And she absolutely destroyed Miesha Tate on the feet, beat her up in the clinch. Outside of the third round where she slowed down, Yana Santos, clear masterclass in this fight. Next fight up the card. Opening up the main card, we have Jeremy Stephens versus Mason Jones. Complete and utter domination from Mason Jones against Jeremy Stephens. USA! USA! We're getting the USA chant some more. Multiple times tonight. Jeremy Stephens, hometown boy. Listen, I mean, it was domination by Jones, but Stephens had some moments. First round, Mason Jones walking him down, beating him up, landing combinations, spinning heel kick to the head, multiple head kicks. Stephens landed a couple good shots. There was like one really good punch that busted up Mason Jones, and then Mason Jones got a couple late takedowns and was looking for a rear naked choke at the end of the first round. Second round is where Mason Jones got a little bit too wild. I think he started getting more and more confident. He was landing good shots, landed a flying knee, landed a spinning back fist that stumbled Jeremy Stephens a bit, and he started to really find his groove, and he started to get a little bit crazy and got hurt on the feet. Stephens landed a punch. Jones was landing some heavy leg kicks in round 2 as well, and it was just like one moment where Jones seemed kind of hurt. He was kind of scrambling around. Stephens was like chasing after him, but then after that, it seems like Jones settled back in and was going back to his game plan, and then got a late takedown as well. I still scored round 2 for Mason Jones, and then round 3, Mason Jones just took him down and out-grappled him for the entire round. And what I saw in this fight is Mason Jones wanted to kind of bait a fight of the night. Did they get fight of the night? Let me actually take a look. It doesn't show here, so I guess they did not get fight of the night. The reason I was wondering if they got fight of the night, and maybe it just hasn't been updated on the website yet here, is because Mason Jones could have easily grappled him the entire fight, and Jeremy Stephens would have had literally no chance. But Mason Jones kind of got this call last minute. He used to be in the UFC back in the day. He's getting a second opportunity. And honestly, this furthers my theory that UFC is talking to these guys about grappling. Because he's like, oh, I put on a show for the first 2 rounds and I fought smart for the third. And I'm like, what? You could have easily... Jeremy Stephens, when he got taken down, like his feet were in the air. Mason Jones could have dominated him for 3 rounds in the grappling. He doesn't. He takes some damage. He puts on a good show. He clearly wins the fight still. Jeremy Stephens doesn't belong in the UFC. I know people are like, man, how you hate on these fighters. Jeremy Stephens is a scrub. He's a shell of his former self, and he used to be a gatekeeper for like the top 15, if even. When's the last time he's even won a fight? I don't even know. Mason Jones, clear, kind of young, up-and-coming guy who maybe got his opportunity in the UFC too early, and now he's back, and I think that time outside the UFC is actually helpful for him. I think the UFC signs up a lot of these guys too young, and it's kind of a detriment to their career. And I think Mason Jones got an opportunity to go outside the UFC, stack up a few wins, work on his skill set, come back better than ever. And I think Mason Jones does belong in the UFC, and he beats Jeremy Stephens 30-27, complete domination. Next fight, we have Cameron Smotherman versus Sidey. You know, what we did have, I don't know what happened here. Sidey's Canadian and Smotherman's American. And I didn't hear any USA chants. Maybe it's because Smotherman was stinking up the place, but I didn't really hear any USA chants. First round was kind of close. Sidey was just a little bit more active. He almost got a takedown, but it was saved by the fence. Smotherman really didn't do much but plot forward. Second round, Sidey got an early takedown, but Smotherman got right back up and was just throwing more and just controlling him and out-grappling him a bit in the round. Second round, Sidey. Third round, Smotherman came out a little bit more urgent, maybe landed a couple more shots, maybe took the third round, but at this point, he was already down the first 2 rounds and looked horrible. He's just plotting forward, not having any urgency, barely throwing any kicks, and he loses via unanimous decision. I don't remember what the scorecards were. I think they were 30-27, maybe 29-28. It was a boring fight. It was a lackluster fight, and it was mainly because of Cameron Smotherman. So maybe that's why they weren't chanting USA. Definitely couldn't have been any other reason. I just can't put my finger on it. I don't know, but the Canadian gets it done. What am I supposed to say about this fight? This fight was horrible. I mean, I blame Smotherman, just plotty, not throwing a whole lot of shots, really had no urgency until round 3. Maybe if he fought with a little bit more urgency, he could have won, honestly. I thought he was the better fighter, but this is the story of a lot of these guys that come off Dana White's Contender Series. They just show up, and they're not really that great, even though they had a decent performance on Dana White's Contender Series. All he did was try to plot box. He was like a slower, shittier Sean Strickland in this fight. That beta male soy boy, as I choke on my own spit here. Okay? Smotherman, embarrassing performance. Next fight on the card, we have Montel Jackson versus Daniel Marcos. Oh my god. We have the American Montel Jackson versus the guy from Peru, the Peruvian, Daniel Marcos. No, we had a faint USA chant on this one, okay? So Montel Jackson gets a faint USA chant, not a full-fledged USA chant. Montel Jackson wins. This was a dog shit fight, to be honest. There was an early trip from Montel Jackson, a couple ground and pound shots. He had another trip later. Marcos was literally doing nothing. Montel Jackson was landing occasional combinations, and Marcos just kind of clinched up looking for takedowns. Round 1, I had Montel Jackson. Round 2, essentially the same thing. I mean, Marcos, I believe, got like one single leg in the second round, but Jackson got up, was landing good 1-2s, and Marcos was essentially kind of stalling for the entire fight. I mean, Marcos would get a takedown, do nothing with it, and Jackson would work his way back up. Marcos would clinch, do nothing. Then when they would have moments of separation, Jackson would tag him with some straight shots, straight left. Third round was really atrocious. Marcos was just shooting ugly takedowns, getting beat up, really not doing much, eating straight shots in the moments they did break. And then late, Montel Jackson went for a Darce choke. I had all 3 rounds for Montel Jackson. Daniel Marcos, I said this in my prediction video, is one of the bummiest undefeated fighters ever, and he's not undefeated anymore. So Montel Jackson gets it done over Daniel Marcos in a very lackluster performance. No USA chance again, even early on before the fight was known to be a complete and utter disaster. Montel Jackson gets it done. Next fight on the card, a featured fight on the card. before we get to my favorite fight on the card. We have Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Daniel Rodriguez. Early, Ponzinibbio slipped. I didn't go back and rewatch it, but he slipped early and then got caught with a shot from Rodriguez as he was getting up and kind of had his hands low. And then D-Rod started chasing him down and just landing good shots. And Ponzinibbio was like running backwards and stumbling all over the place and shooting takedowns to try to survive. And eventually he kind of regained his composure. Daniel Rodriguez clearly won the first round. Second round was a much closer round. It seemed like D-Rod started to slow down. Ponzinibbio started landing good right hands over and over and over again. Ponzinibbio shot a couple takedowns just to really mix it in. And like the last 20 seconds of the second round, got a takedown and did a little bit of damage. I thought second round was Ponzinibbio, and I thought the writing was on the wall. Ponzinibbio is coming back, and he's going to win this fight. Daniel Rodriguez looked tired. His mouth was open. He was breathing heavily. Then D-Rod comes out in the third round. And basically, early on in the third round, catches him with I'm trying to remember what shot it was. He threw some. It was a crazy combination. So I think he hurt him with maybe like a right hand. Let me see if it says on Tapology. I have Tapology pulled up over here. Let me take a look. It was a left hook that put him down, but I think it was a right hand that started the initial exchange. But essentially, Rodriguez caught him with a punch, swarmed him, put him down with a nasty left hook, and just one ground and pound shot completely put him to sleep. And Daniel Rodriguez gets it done. I mean, Ponzinibbio, it's sad. At one point, he was a title contender who never got a shot because of injuries and illnesses and whatnot. And Daniel Rodriguez is a guy who's like losing to Kelvin Gastelum and losing to Neil Magny not that long ago. And I really thought Ponzinibbio would win this fight, but I don't think either guy looked particularly impressive. Daniel Rodriguez is shouting out his rap career afterwards. So there's that. To be honest, when I first looked at this card, I'm like, okay, damn, this card's good. But then I'm really thinking about it. I'm like, okay, it's just good compared to like the shittiest of the shittiest Apex cards. And it really did, even though this was a good finish, the fight was, they just looked old, man. And I know that's what happens. And Daniel Rodriguez went out there and got the finish. And maybe it's just part of me that's sad because I'm like, wait a second. I remember when Ponzinibbio was coming up the ranks and now he's getting brutalized by Daniel Rodriguez, who's a perennial like top 30 gatekeeper essentially. And he got slumped, man. And good on Daniel Rodriguez. He faced a little bit of adversity. I thought he dropped the second round. I haven't seen the scorecards. I thought he dropped the second round. It looked like the writing was on the wall. I thought, okay, 29-28 Ponzinibbio is what's going to happen here. Especially considering he got out-grappled at the end of that third. But he went out there. He had that quick breather in between rounds. And he was able to go out there and get the finish. So good on Daniel Rodriguez. Second or third round TKO, which you very rarely see. Good win for Daniel Rodriguez. On to the co-main events. On to the co-main events. Reinier de Ridder is my favorite fighter. Co-main event. Reinier de Ridder versus Bo Nickal. Reinier de Ridder made Bo quit in the second round. Second round TKO for Reinier de Ridder. Oh my God, it was so glorious to watch. Comment down below. Comment down below if you guys want a dedicated Bo Nickal video. It's probably going to happen anyway. Full spoiler alert. But let me know if you want a dedicated Bo Nickal video because he got exposed badly here, man. I know everybody's saying now, fraud check, fraud check. This is the definition of it. And I knew this would happen eventually. I just didn't think I'm so mad at myself. I don't want to spend too much time talking about the pick. But full disclosure, I picked Bo Nickal. I was on Reinier de Ridder. I switched to Bo Nickal. It's my fault. I knew this was coming eventually. If you watch my channel at all over the last year or two, you know I knew this was coming eventually. I just thought stylistically, de Ridder's kind of shit on the feet. Bo Nickal can keep it standing. Man, Bo Nickal. I'm going to tell you this right now, and I'm going to talk about this more in my dedicated video. His career ended tonight. Dead serious, his career ended tonight. But we'll get to that more. We'll talk about it a little bit more in a little bit in this video, but I'll talk about it more in my dedicated video. But let's talk about the fight itself. First round. Reinier de Ridder comes out, gets aggressive, starts clinching up with Bo Nickal, landing some good shots in the clinch. And eventually Reinier de Ridder lands a good knee to the body, and then Bo Nickal's like, okay, let me get a takedown. Gets a takedown against Reinier de Ridder. Solid takedown up against the fence, kind of like trips him, and then it was a good takedown from Bo. And then Bo's on top, and Reinier de Ridder's scrambling and throwing some good shots from bottom. And Bo decides, as Reinier de Ridder goes to get up, to look for a guillotine, and he ends up on bottom. At this point, I already see him. He's like sucking wind, and Reinier de Ridder starts to do a little bit of damage, but nothing crazy. And then eventually Bo ends up in the front headlock position and scrambles back up. At the very end of round 1, he scrambles up, he eats a few shots, and then he gets dragged to the ground, which is absolutely hilarious. He got taken down, but he jumped right back up. I don't even think they counted it as a takedown, which is absolute horseshit, but it doesn't matter anyway. He got taken down by Reinier de Ridder. So to clear that up, Bo gets the takedown. Reinier starts scrambling. Bo looks for a guillotine. Reinier would have been up anyway. Bo ends up on bottom, gets controlled for a little bit, eventually scrambles up himself. Reinier de Ridder drags him back down, as well as landing a couple shots. Second round. I mean, there's some clinch work, and Bo is kind of like halfway looking for takedowns, and I think he's trying to grapple, but make no mistake about it, Reinier de Ridder is battering him in the clinch. Knees to the body, throwing little short shots to the body. And the reason Bo Nickal took him down in the first round is because he was getting busted up to the body in the first round in the clinch. And this starts happening in the second round. Bo doesn't know what to do. And Bo can't get him down again. And even though Reinier de Ridder gets a little klutzy and gives up his back at certain positions, they eventually end up against the fence. And Reinier de Ridder's just driving the point of his knee right into the body of Bo Nickal. He's smashing him up to the face. Bo literally looked like he was going to cry. I swear on my life, Bo looked like he was going to cry up against the fence. He was just getting battered, and he was like shelling away. And then they break from that position. Reinier de Ridder walks him down, lands a couple good punches. I mean, he's out striking him. Boom, boom, boom. And then steps in with a filthy knee to the body. And I hate Mike Beltran. Why couldn't he let this go on a little bit longer? He lands a knee to the body. Bo Nickal just curls up into a ball, Anthony Smith style, quits immediately. And Mike Beltran just jumps right in. It wasn't an early stoppage, but it should have been allowed to go for longer because Bo straight up quit. And this is, when I say I've seen this coming for years, Bo Nickal is not good. Okay, let's make that very clear. I know I picked him. Bo Nickal is not good. Okay, he has a very specific set of skills. Okay, shout out Liam Neeson. That's why I stumbled over my words. I was thinking of Liam Neeson when I said that. And he has decent wrestling. He can beat up on scrubs, even though Cody Bummed is just shucking him off like a little bitch. But what happened with Bo, and I've talked about this so many times, is you have Daddy Dana White hyping him up and saying, Bo, don't cry because you didn't look that great against Cody Bumdage. Bo, don't cry because you look like shit against Paul Craig. And then you have all his friends and family being nothing but yes men. Yeah, Bo, you're elite. Talk about Khamzat Chimaev some more. Yeah. You get a complex in your head. He thought he was good. And they put him against the first real fighter he's ever fought in Reinier de Ridder, and he got the shit beat out of him. I could see him in the clinch quitting. Go watch my live stream if you don't believe me. I was calling it in the first round. I said, Bo's ready to quit. I could see it on his face. He's one of those people, back when I was a kid, right? Back when I was a kid, way, way, way back when I was a kid, okay? I used to watch the early episodes of like American Idol, and you'd have the shitty people that would come on there and sing, and they'd be horrible, and actually be funny. That's the only thing I would watch, okay? The horrible parts. And every single one of those shit singers that came on there, like, yeah, I want to be the next American Idol. Their whole family's like, yeah, they're the songbird of their generation. Hell yeah. Bo has parents that spoiled his little bitch ass for years. Then Daddy Dana White does the same thing. We've seen it with Paige Van Zandt. We've seen it with Sage Northcutt. We've seen it with Connor. All these spoiled little bitches get exposed badly. Bo will never be top 15. And I already know the narrative that's going to come out. I don't know what kind of excuses Bo's going to make. You know, Jerry Sandusky didn't train him good enough, whatever, this or that. I see multiple media members, because they like to promote Bo too, because they're like, oh, Bo's a budding star. This could put dollars in my pocket. Let's hype him up and act like he's good, even though he's a total fucking industry plant. And I'm already going too long on this fight. But what happens is, Now the media has to have a reckoning for this because he looked like a total fucking scrub. So now I've only seen this a little bit, but I already guarantee it's a massive narrative from the media and from Daddy Dana himself and the UFC. Man, Bo's still young in his career, man. This loss is going to be good for him. This is going to be one of those losses that makes him rebound. Yeah, he's going to rebound because the Dana and the UFC is going to give him a bunch of scrubs. This motherfucker ain't good. Shit grappling, shit clinch, shit. Imagine getting outstruck by Reinier de Ridder. And this dude quit. He doesn't even have heart. I would wipe the floor with Bo Nickal. I wish they would give me the opportunity. I would whoop his ass. I'd whoop him. You know, and in case you don't believe me, there's nothing I can tell to do. All I can do is talk. All I can do is talk about it. You know what? I don't even need to step in there. I don't have cell service. Don't even bother calling me, UFC. I don't got cell service. But just know I would whoop Bo Nickal. Maybe you could compare that. You don't like people talking shit about people they'll never fight and maybe wouldn't beat? Maybe Bo should keep his mouth shut about Khamzat Chimaev. This dude was like, man, I would out-grapple Khamzat. Khamzat, I got to end this co-main event breakdown soon. Khamzat would have went out there. He could have went out there, shot a takedown on Bo Nickal, dragged him to the ground immediately, pulled his pants down, put him over his knee, have his cornerman sprinkle some water on his hand, and just start smacking his ass. Yeah, you like that, Mr. Penn State? Bo Nickal spent too much time staring at himself in the mirror, jerking off to his Penn State career instead of actually training. And then everyone around him like, yeah, man, great job, man. Let me get you a new King Ranch, man. We got to upgrade your King Ranch that you got when you were 16, Bo. Spoiled brat. He isn't built for this. And if you've been watching my videos about Bo or any of my live streams where we talked about him over the years, you would know he ain't built like this. When you grow up a spoiled little bitch the way Bo is, and I just know it. I don't know anything about his childhood. I can just know it over the past couple years. He grew up that way. You don't have it in you. You don't have that dog in you. And Bo got embarrassed tonight. Reinier de Ridder embarrassed Mr. Penn State. Go talk about your wrestling credentials. Go make your excuses. I said 2 years ago. I said when Bo finally fights someone who's actually good, he's going to get brutally exposed and fraud checked. I didn't say the word fraud check because that's kind of a corny term, which I don't even like using, but this is so perfect for it. And he's going to say, oh, I'm too small for the weight class. I'm going to go down to welterweight. And then he's going to get embarrassed there, and then he's going to retire. I believe this is the end of Bo Nickal's career right here. Embarrassing performance. He quit in this fight. He got brutalized. He got outclassed. He embarrassed himself. This isn't going to be his moment. Oh, Bo, everything's going to be all right, buddy. You're going to make a comeback. He faced adversity. This is going to be the loss that teaches. People are going to push that narrative. No, Bo sucks. He sucks ass. He's never going to be good. He would bare minimum be a fringe top 15 guy. That's all he's got. In the middleweight division, he's not even that stacked. So, Bo Nickal got his ass spanked by Reinier de Ridder, and he quit in a fetal position like Anthony Smith. And it was just so funny to watch because he's been too busy jerking off to his Penn State career while he stares at himself in the eyes in the mirror. So, got fraud checked, got embarrassed, got exposed, and I'll probably make that dedicated video tomorrow or later tonight if you guys want to see it. Next fight on the card, Cory Sandhagen, Deiveson Figueiredo, the main event. I mean, what's there to say about this fight? Cory Sandhagen wins via second round TKO. Figgy hurts his knee. Figgy really embarrassed himself in this fight worse than I could have ever imagined. I mean, looks for a takedown early. Gets it, tries to jump on Sandhagen's back. There's like a leg entanglement afterwards, and he's just getting smashed and dominated on the ground as he looks for a phantom heel hook. Then the second round, Figgy eats a few leg kicks, then gets a single leg takedown, starts looking for a heel hook there. Cory looks for a heel hook as well, and they end up scrambling back to their feet. And then Cory gets a takedown right afterwards. And then Deiveson Figueiredo again looking for a heel hook, looking for this, looking for that. Cory looks for his own. There's like a scramble, a leg entanglement. Cory has his leg in an awkward position, sits up, the knee pops. Figgy falls to his back and straight up quits. Cory lands a couple hammer fists. I'm doing my best impression of Bo in the mirror right there. Lands a couple hammer fists. The referee finally jumps in. What is there to say? How am I supposed to break down this main event? Like, Sandhagen just beat him up. I mean, it was an embarrassing performance from Figgy. Figgy looked like he came into this fight injured. I got to be honest. And Sandhagen said, look, it's not unfortunate. I caused this injury. I did the same thing to TJ Dillashaw, which I do remember he did do the same thing to TJ Dillashaw. But, I mean, Figgy's entire strategy was to come in and lay on his back looking for a heel hook. This guy's supposed to be ranked. What was his ranking going in this fight? Of course, it doesn't show it now that the fight's... I mean, UFC's slacking heavily. Can we get some rankings here? I mean, this is ridiculous. But Figgy spent his whole career kind of bullying flyweights. He walks them down with no respect. He can't do that against Sandhagen. And then the grappling... I mean, Figgy has decent grappling, but Sandhagen has decent defensive grappling. He doesn't have great takedown defense, but it's really hard to hold him there. We saw that against Umar Nurmagomedov, who would take him down repeatedly, but couldn't hold him there. I mean, Figgy really, he just showed it's his time, man. Go down. How shit is Marlon Vera really? That's the real question. But also, like, why is your game plan just to hold on to heel hooks the entire fight and then quit after your knee pops? Sandhagen beat him up. One thing I didn't like is the whole narrative going into this fight. Again, gaslighting by the commentary was, man, Sandhagen could find himself in a title fight after this, blah-de-blah-de-blah. And then afterwards, Sandhagen's like, please, UFC, give me my title shot. I want to beat world champion, blah-de-blah-de-blah. Like, is now everyone begging for a title shot off a one-win streak? This shit's starting to get embarrassing, and I'm telling you why the UFC's pushing it so heavily. The UFC's hoping O'Malley flukes a win over Merab next month at UFC 316. Then they're going to do O'Malley Sandhagen. That's what they're going to try to do because O'Malley could actually maybe beat Sandhagen. Where he's never beating another wrestler. Or he's not beating Jan. They would be more confident in O'Malley beating Sandhagen than any other contender. So they want to push that rather than anything else. Now, granted, there's not a clear-cut deserving number one contender right now. I would say Jan deserves it more than Sandhagen. Jan beat Sandhagen and also beat Figgy as well. Pretty clear-cut. Now, he didn't finish him with a knee injury, but he did finish. I just thought it was really weird how like you could tell the commentary was really pushing Cory Sandhagen title contention this entire fight, like the entire card. They were, every time they talked about this main event, it was like clearly like a bullet point, push Cory Sandhagen as title contender. And it just shows how far the UFC's fallen. And I know people are going to say, Joey Blood, you said Umar. Umar whooped Cory Sandhagen and dominated him. I'd rather see Umar get another title shot. It was a razor-close fight with Merab, which people don't think because Merab threw his hands up a couple times. That's how brain-dead a lot of the MMA community is. People are going to be pissed about this part of the video. Cory wins. I'd like to see him get one more win. Maybe fight Petr Yan. There's rumors of Petr Yan versus Marcus McGee. I would like to see Sandhagen Yan too, and that could be a number one contender fight. You shouldn't be getting a title fight off a one-win streak, okay? You just shouldn't. You just shouldn't. Unless you're taking multiple really tough fights on short notice, then maybe. And when you lose one barely via decision, maybe that could be an exception to the rule. But yeah, Figgy, his career's over. I know that's crazy. I don't want to see him headline any more events. I really don't want to see him headlining any more events. I don't know if he came into this fight injured. He just looked like he had nothing to offer. But let me roll for leg locks the entire fight. Let me roll for a leg lock the entire fight. Cory Sandhagen gets it done, breaks his knee. Good win on Cory Sandhagen. But really the highlight of the show was Bo Nickal getting absolutely brutally exposed. I never want to hear him talk about Khamzat Chimaev ever again. Dude was saying Khamzat was trash, and one day I'm going to fight Khamzat. I'm going to beat Khamzat. Dude, he would murder you. Buddy boy. But yeah, that's it. UFC Des Moines, Iowa. Overall, card. Co-main event saved the card. Because honestly, like looking back through, like real quick, I'll put the card back on the screen for a second. Main event, didn't enjoy it really at all. Co-main event, absolutely loved it. Ponzinibbio, Daniel Rodriguez was meh. Montel Jackson, Daniel Marcos was eh. Cameron Smotherman versus Serhiy Sidey was eh. Jeremy Stevens, Mason Jones was fun-ish. Yana Santos, Miesha Tate, eh. Bekoev had a crazy finish. Jillian Robertson got a good finish. Quang Lee, domination. Thomas Petersen, Dante Mays, ugh. Juliana Miller versus Ivana Petrović, ugh. So, overall, card was eh. I should start grading these cards at like the end of videos, but I don't know. I just figured I'd discuss that a little bit. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate every single one of you. And shout out to all the made men out there. There was another made man made tonight during the UFC Des Moines, Iowa live stream. Shout out to him. Shout out to all the made men. Shout out to everyone supporting the channel. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Appreciate every single one of you. And I'll see you in the next video.